I find your question extremely unprofessional. I'm here to talk about a serious application. It's clear that the organisation I represent, Hamas, wanted to make an application under Section 4 of the Terrorism Act. They required legal assistance to do it, so I accepted a brief.
Welcome back, everyone. We have Franck Magennis, the barrister defending Hamas, back on the show, and this time he's on LBC trying to discuss his application with Tom Swarbrick. To be honest, I think LBC really shot themselves in the foot. This is a major case. There's so many questions that need to be answered, and this was a perfect opportunity to do so. And not only did Tom, acting like a schoolboy, fail to get any answers, but also rudely cut the call. What was the point of even inviting Franck on the show? Anyway, let's take a look.
As I understand it, you have voluntarily chosen to represent a terrorist group. Why so?
Well, it's good to be here, and thank you for having me. I will answer your question, but can I just make a request that in the dialogue that you and I are going to have, we make sure that we proceed on the premise of full Palestinian humanity and dignity, because some of the press that I've been doing has been marked by an extreme disregard for that at a moment when Palestinians are facing a genocide. Now, to answer your question, it's right.
I'm going to just pause there, Frank.
It's right that I'm acting pro bono.
I'm not going to go too deep into the question of genocide. Genocide has not been found to have happened by the International Criminal Court yet. So we're going to give you one on the genocide point, but that's not actually a fact that has been established. That's what people would describe it. You say, in answer to the question, you say it's right to do it pro bono because?
I don't want to talk about the question of why I've done it pro bono. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the application, please.
Okay. So I'm going to ask the question one more time, and you can choose not to answer it if you don't want to. Why have you chosen to represent a terror group?
I find your question extremely unprofessional.
Why?
I'm here to talk about a serious application. It's clear that the organisation I represent, Hamas, wanted to make an application under Section 4 of the Terrorism Act. They required legal assistance to do it, so I accepted a brief.
Are you being paid for it?
No, I've already told you, if you were listening, that I'm doing it pro bono.
Right. And you're happy with that because you feel like it's an application that needs to be made?
I suppose the problem is that Zionism is and always has been premised on the most staggering affront to Palestinian dignity, and that you would ask these questions instead of asking me about the mass murder of Palestinians because of their race speaks to your lack of integrity as a journalist.
Okay, Mr. Magennis.
According to the United Nations Special Committee, Amnesty International and other human rights organisations, Israel is committing a genocide. This interview right here is probably amongst one of the worst I've ever seen, right up there besides the likes of David Mensa. On one hand, we have a seriously intelligent barrister, and let's be honest here, doing something most would say is crazy. He of course understands the law better than most people. Here to explain the application up against a childish schoolboy who's using the opportunity not only to waste our time, but for a few giggles. Shockingly poor, and it only gets worse. Let's continue.
So part of the claim is that Hamas poses no threat to the people of the UK. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. It's clear that Britain, that Hamas only operates in Palestine. They don't operate in Britain at all, and they've never expressed any intention to do that.
Yet Hamas captured a British-Israeli citizen, Emily Damari, didn't they, whom they shot twice?
That's correct. It's also the case that British citizens are going to serve in the Israeli forces while they commit what South Africa and various EU governments say is a genocide. So if we insist on centering Britain, which is of course the Home Secretary's dubious approach, that might be thought the more pressing question. The fact that British citizens
I'll get to decide what the questions I ask are. Thank you. So Emily Damari is a British-Israeli citizen.
Well, you're talking over me. Just respond to the point that 10 British soldiers British people stand accused of going to join an army that's committing a genocide.
Right.
Do you have anything to say about that?
Yes, I think they should be, if there's evidence against them, they should be taken to court for it. Absolutely. The evidence needs to be explored. I'm just interested in how you can say that Hamas poses no threat to the people of United Kingdom people or people who are British, and yet captured a British-Israeli citizen whom they shot twice.
Well, just think that through for a moment. It's the case that because Israel is an ethno-state that chooses to self-racialize and describe itself as the Jewish state, and because it illegitimately claims a mandate to speak on behalf of all Jews and gives all Jews a right to return there and serve in its military, it's the case that Israeli soldiers have British citizenship. So clearly those British soldiers are going to come into conflict.
Was Emily Damari a British soldier?
No, I'm not saying that she was.
Right, so again, I come back to the point when you say they are no threat to people of the UK or UK people. In this case, they were absolutely a threat because they took an innocent British citizen hostage and shot her twice.
No, that's a absurd framing. The claim that's being
tell me
made
what the framing is then, Mr. Magennis.
The framing should be geographical. The point is that they don't have any operations in the geographical territory of Britain. And the reason I chose the example of British soldiers who choose to go and serve in a military while it commits a genocide is that, by your logic, the fact that Palestinians exercise their rights to self-defense and to use armed force in self-defense under international law to shoot at British people who are serving in the Israeli military, that's caught by your logic as well. It's not the correct framing. The correct framing is geographical.
No, I'm asking about the point is...
The point that's being made is
no, it's the nature of what those people were doing. You're right, people have a right to self-defense, but there was no defence needed from a person who was not attacking them. In this case, the British-Israeli citizen Emily Damari.
So Tom tries to justify his case by saying Hamas shot one British citizen. Okay, fine, somebody give him a sticker. What about the 3 British aid workers, John Chapman, James Kirby and James Henderson, from the World Central Kitchen, who were killed by an Israeli airstrike, who later the IDF said was a grave mistake? Franck Magennis, a barrister representing Hamas, a prescribed terror group by Priti Patel, the very same Priti Patel sacked by Theresa May for having secret meetings with Israeli officials. These are facts. Franck is doing a huge piece of work, 240-page document for the 10 Brits who signed up to the IDF to be complicit in this genocide. He's also involved in the Hind Rajab Foundation, the child that was shot over 300 times, found surrounded by the bodies of her family members. That alone says a lot about the character of this man. Let's continue.
Do you care about Palestinian life, or do you only care about British life? You don't seem to.
Well, I'd rather you didn't impose your views onto me, Mr. Magennis, based on things that I've said or haven't said. You have written the claim. I'm going to go. You have written the claim that Hamas poses no threat to UK people. And there is clearly evidence that Hamas does pose a threat to at least one British Israeli citizen, Emily Damari, who was not there fighting against Hamas or part of the Israeli military. She was an innocent person who was taken from a music festival, shot twice in captivity by the people that you are choosing to represent for free. And I'm just gently making the point that that is a threat, isn't it?
Well, you're not making it gently, and I understand that you feel that I'm pushing back against your framing, but that's because I think your framing is disgraceful.
Well, that's as maybe. I don't understand how the framing of what is a fact is a disgrace. The fact is, Hamas took innocent people back into Gaza. They were not posing a direct threat to Hamas. They were there at a music festival, and they shot them twice. And your argument is, as part of this submission, that they are no threat to UK people. That's just clearly wrong.
Do you agree that your framing is running cover for a genocide in which the British government is accused of participating? Well, it's my submission that that's exactly what you're doing.
Great.
You could have chosen to premise this on Palestinian dignity, and you've chosen to disclaim that.
Okay.
It's a mistake, and I'm inviting you to stop making this mistake. It's a genocide. Don't become numb to that. It is beyond urgent.
Well, Tom then goes on to cut the call a complete waste of time and no discussion whatsoever on the application. The one thing everyone had questions for. Extremely poor journalism and disappointing to see. I'm glad at least the public is able to see this for themselves. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Support me by liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace out.